Hello YouTube. Thought I'd do a little video. I just got the Everlast Pro 164 AC/DC TIG welder, stick welder, plasma cutter, and I've had it for about a week now. I've been having pretty good results with it. I did have one little issue that I thought I'd share with you that may help somebody else out. And let me move my camera, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, when I first got this thing, I set it all up, and when I cracked this valve, the little ball inside the gauge shot up to the top, shot back down, and got stuck. So when I was trying to set up the pressure, the ball wasn't moving. So I didn't know if I had a bad gauge or what the story was. So I sent them an email, and they got back to me within half an hour and explained what the problem was. And I also didn't know how to set the gauge, which they also explained to me. But I'll show you what happened to me. If you take this ring off of here, this whole thing will come off. And the ball just got stuck in the bottom there. You can see now it's rolling nice and free. Oh, it just came apart on me in there. Get it back together. Alright. But once you do, if your ball's not moving, that's the problem. It's stuck in the bottom. You just got to take something, poke it up in there, and you just, when you open that valve, you got to open it nice and easy. You shouldn't have any more problems. I haven't had any more problems since then. So we'll stick this back together. And then also this gauge is in liters per minute instead of cubic feet per hour. So I did the conversion. I got an app off of the App Store, and it works out to be 15 cubic feet an hour is about 8 liters per minute, and 20 cubic feet an hour is about 10 liters per minute. So between 8 and 10, I usually have been running it on 8 because I'm using a fairly low amperage, and it's been working pretty good for me. I've been doing mostly aluminum lately, which I'll try to do here in a couple minutes to show you. And I'll just show you. Alright, I'll just show you a couple more things that I have here. Help me out a little bit. If you're just learning like I am, check this guy out, weldingtipsandtricks.com. He's got a lot of great info about welding. Usually if I'm trying to figure something out, that's where I go. And something else I got from him, the TIG finger. Good investment, because your pinky is always close to the heat, and it's not pleasant. Another thing that I've been using is the UV glove. This finger stays on here real nice, and I still have some dexterity as opposed to the leather. It seems to work really well. That's what I've been using. Works good. Another thing you'll want to get is something to hold your torch. I just welded a C-clamp to a piece of steel tubing. Put this on the edge of the table. Stick my torch in it. That way you don't have a hot torch where you got to try to find a spot to put it. And I'll just show you. This is one of my first welds on steel. And I was pretty happy with it. I think that's a pretty good weld. So I will fire this thing up. Oh, one other thing I made, which I saw on welding tips and tricks a lot, is a third hand, which I got a big heavy chunk of steel. These are teeth off of one of those 3-pronged gardening tools. I cut the teeth off, I welded them to this hunk of steel, and I can set this. Let me turn this down a little. I could just set this down on my workpiece, and there's enough weight there where it doesn't really move around. You can work on it without it shuffling all over the place on you. And then if you have a small piece you can't hook a ground clamp on anywheres, you just drop that point on it and that will hold it where you need it to be. So I will fire this thing up and try to run a bead and see what it looks like. Now you see I'm working on the edge of the table here, and the reason for that is I'm trying to get in the habit of running a straight bead. So the way I do it is I put that glove on and the TIG finger on, and I get myself in here like this, and then I got a line scribed on that plate. You probably can't see it, but if I run my hand straight down the table, it maintains the same distance, and hopefully I'll get a nice straight bead. Eventually that will have to come without a straight edge to work with, because a lot of times you're not going to have that, but for now I'm going to try to keep everything looking nice. Here's a piece that I did some beads on. That's not showing up real well. But they're not perfect, but they're pretty good for, I don't know, I've probably got less than 3 hours of TIG welding aluminum experience. So I don't know how this is going to work with my iPhone recording something so bright. So I got this piece of glass out of a torch mask. I'm going to stick that over there and hopefully you'll be able to see something. Okay. Oops. Shit. Okay. got my ground. Alright, I couldn't do much there because I got the camera in the way of my elbow. And this thing's sliding around on me a little bit. But all in all, not bad, not great either. But this is also my first time welding on this thickness of aluminum. I've been doing a little bit heavier stuff. This is, I forgot what it is now. 19 gauge, I think. And I'll also just show you quick. Let me get rid of this thing. I've tried a couple different types of electrodes, but these, they're purple. I guess they call it an E3. I don't know if you can read that. But these work well on AC, DC. They've worked pretty good at anything I've tried. They've worked real well. I was having a problem burning them up when I first started welding on the aluminum, but that's because the settings on the yellow knobs for the AC were too high, which I went with something I saw in a video, and they just weren't working for me, so I tweaked them down a little bit. And it seems to be working pretty good. I'll tell you what those are so I don't have a bunch of questions. I've got frequency on 60 and balance on about 35, and that's been working pretty well for me. Anyway, I hope some of this information was helpful to somebody. And I'll see you later.